socks that I want to wear here. Okay. I apologize to all those online for the last 15 seconds of what you have to look at, but the socks are time management socks. I have a little clock. Alrighty, let's get on with our slides that show, first of all, our recognition events. And I see them working on this diligently. But first of all, will be new members. And we have, in a moment, we're going to show you a colossal number of new members. A colossal number of new members. I mean, this is really a big number, okay? Well, there you go. Okay, kind of fine print there. We'd like to welcome to all of our new chapter members. Okay, if you're listed here, congratulations. If you're online and you're listed here, say hi to everybody. You have a bunch of new friends and colleagues to be able to associate with. So that's awesome. We also have people that have recently been through certifications. Another very long list here. Congratulations to all of these newly certified members. There you go. Thank you, audience in the room. Always nice. Is anybody listed here that's in the room? Congratulations. There you go. Anybody online? Please, in the chat, go ahead and contribute your name. Say, hey, I'm here. Congratulate me. That would be great. We have people with anniversaries also. 5 people with 15 years in PMI. And yeah, there's the slide. A number more with 10 and a few there with 5. Name there in 5. Wow, I can't believe it's been 5 for them. Congratulate the people with tenure. And now we get to the actual announcement piece. A couple of these things you'll probably run across, but just to remind you, if you wanted to sponsor an event like this, or your firm, you absolutely can do that. Sponsor packages are available. If you're an employer or hiring manager, please note that you can submit a free job posting at pmicic.org. If you're looking for a job, check out those job postings, because I know a firm that posted one is still looking for more people. So that goes both ways. Not this Friday, but the following Friday, there's the regular meetup that's occurring at the garage in Indy between 5 and 7, and I think they provide appetizers. Right? Is that still true? I think so. Okay, there's a board of directors meeting that occurs also. It's the first Wednesday of the month, and you're invited in case you wanted to see how PMI Central Indiana was working behind the scenes. And don't lose your chapter benefits. All you new members there, make certain that you have signed up to auto-renew your membership so that you don't miss out on things a year from now. And lastly, we do appreciate you taking the time to fill out the survey. It takes about 60 seconds. We use these in our retrospective to help modify and improve on these events month after month. So we really appreciate your feedback there. Let's see, next up here. Oh, you know, this chapter is 35 years old, speaking of anniversaries, and PMI National apparently provides gifts. This banner here for the Central Indiana chapter was gifted to the chapter by National PMI. So congratulations to all of us for 35 years in the organization. Oh, Pro Dev Day is coming up. I mean, certainly you've seen this, but maybe you said, oh my gosh, I just forgot to sign up. Pro Dev Day, September 15th, 14th and 15th. It's a half day, afternoon, and following morning again. I'm helping prepare, in fact, some of the video snippets of the upcoming speakers. Check that out, sign up for that. It's at prodevday.com. That's an easy URL to remember. prodevday.com. Make sure you sign up for that. And now, our word from the board comes from our illustrious president, Kaylin Hill.
Thank you. Welcome everyone this evening. First, I want to start off by thanking our lovely volunteers. So volunteers, if you could just wave your hand to our audience here. Yes, thank you for being possible each and every month. It does take quite a bit of us to get this done, so we do appreciate that. If any of you are interested in volunteering, please let us know. We always have room for more. But really what we want to get into is some celebrations, right? August is a month where we're trying to like hold on to that summer feeling, right? And so you'll notice that a lot of the holidays that you see listed on your right, my left, is all about, you know, some of those summer things like National Cooker Float Day. Ooh, that's a good one. You know, eat outside day, right? Some of those great holidays, but there's one in particular that I thought would be a lot of fun to celebrate with each and every one of you tonight, and that is National Tell a Joke Day. So please bear with us. We are going to go through some quick jokes for you. As you can see there, laughter is really good for us, mentally, physically. So if you're not getting enough laughter in your life, I strongly suggest it. Here's a great way to get that started. So Rich is going to help us participate in the games today. You are. You are indeed.
All righty.
So, Rich, I'm really good at sleeping. Are you really good at sleeping?
Sleeping? Hey, Aylin, sleeping is so easy for me, I can do it with my eyes closed. Boy, we do need a drum in here.
So, Rich, what do you call a fake noodle?
A fake noodle? An impasta.
Why can't a bicycle stand on its own?
Oh, it's too tired.
You're really falling on these jokes.
Aylin, I dropped the jokes. The order may be messed up now.
What is the opposite of croissant?
A croissant?
Yes.
A happy uncle. A happy uncle.
What does it take? What does it make you? Hold on.
Yeah. Go with this.
What does it make you if you see a robbery at an eye store?
Okay, a robbery at an eye store. What's that make that person? A person who sees a robbery at an eye store, audience involvement, I'm spontaneously doing this. What is that? Eyewitness! Eyewitness, very good. Okay, we got one more. We'll go to the audience on this one too.
We will wrap up with this. What is an astronaut's favorite key on a keyboard?
Favorite key on the keyboard for an astronaut? Space, as in the space bar. Yes, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for whatever.
Really get your fires lit here, but I think another way to really reduce some stress is going to come from Jill's presentation this evening. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it back over to Rich, and then we'll get Jill on up.
One thing that's not necessarily a laughing matter is the copyright and disclaimer slide, which we place up here. Just a reminder that PMI members have determined that honesty, responsibility, respect, and fairness are really good values. We should live up to those every single moment of every single day. Also remember that all work presented by the presenters tonight is their intellectual property, so please honor that. Views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by said presenters and other people that are standing on the stage that have been handed the microphone are theirs, not necessarily those of PMI or PMI CIC. And the unauthorized reproduction or distribution of copyright work is illegal, punishable by federal law, so you can put those video phones away right now. It's breaking the law. And now, the reason you're here, not for that. Tonight, our special guest speaker is a high-performance coach, author, motivational speaker, and host of Your Life, Your Story, Rise Up podcast. She specializes in communication, productivity, and purpose. As a time management expert, she helps project managers and other high-achieving professionals shift from working 60 hours per week and being burned out to maintaining a 40-hour work week, getting more done in less time, and reigniting passion, freedom, and abundance in all areas of life. She's here today to help us, busy professionals ourselves, work less, get more done, and rise up from burnout. Whether you are online or here in the room, please join me in enthusiastically welcoming our guest speaker, Jill O'Boyle.
Hi, you guys hear me okay? Good? All right. Well, good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you tonight. And thank you, PMI, for really just having me. So today, I hope you like the topic because we're going to get into some good stuff today. But I want to ask you first and foremost a very simple question. And that is, how are you? How y'all doing tonight, right? It's a question that we get asked all the time. And what I found is many times we respond, to something like this, right? I'm okay. Just busy. I'm doing all right. Just really busy. Would you guys say that that's a fair statement?
Yeah.
How many of you guys feel, show of hands, that that's fair? You're busy people, right? Majority. We got a little I was gonna say maybe somebody in the room wants to be a little bit more honest with me, a little bit more authentic. Who wants to tell me, no, Jill, no, I'm not busy. I'm drowning, right? Like I'm just trying to keep my head above water. I'm just trying to get through the end of the day. I'm just trying to get through the end of the week. Bring me Friday. Who's with me on that? Brutally honest. Yeah, no shame, no game. I've been there. I get it. We all live busy lives, don't we? Well, that's why I'm so excited to be here with you. Especially excited to speak with you guys tonight because if you didn't raise your hand or not, I know you're busy. You guys are project managers or you're professionals in the project management industry. And so I know that you're busy. I was a little bit biased because I spent most of my career in project management myself. So no offense to those other industries, no offense to those other organizations, but I'm always like, when they say busy, I'm like, you don't know busy till you know project management. Well, I'm just saying. So, like I said, I spent many years, my background's in project management. I always said project managers are like the glue, right? They're what holds everything together between the client's endless demands, between the internal communication, between the vendor relationships. Everything kind of comes flying at you from all different angles. And it's your job to make sure that all the pieces of that puzzle get fit together, that it's on time, that it's on budget, and you better bet that it better be flawless. Like it better go off without a hitch, right? So I get it. But for me, when I was in my project management days, after a while that glue got real sticky. Many of my days, my weeks, my months, they became a little overwhelming. I felt a little exhausted on some days, and I felt very busy. And if I'm really being honest, most of the time I felt more like this at the end of the day. Just wanting to pull my hair out. I was just ready to lose it sometimes. Like the stress, the demand, the home life, the fire drills, the work, like it just kept boiling up, right? I didn't know how much more I could take or at what point I just might break. So most of my days ended up like that, like, I'm okay. I'm just busy. So I want to know in the room, you guys feeling that a little bit? Feeling that pressure a little bit? I thought I was going to be in the right room tonight. I thought you guys relate. Like, no offense to those other people, but you guys get it, I think. So I was that friend that, you'd always invite to happy hour because you knew she was going to come. Like, this girl needed a drink a lot. But I was going to be, late. I'd always miss those happy hour prices because I was too busy. And so as soon as I get there, I tell you all about my day, all the back-to-back meetings I had, and give me a menu because I'm starving because who has time to eat lunch? Like, we don't do lunch. So yeah, you guys know those friends? I mean, if they're sitting at you, don't look at them. Like, don't call them out. Don't call them out. But I was that friend. I was the first to the office, last to leave all the time. And through that journey of my life, I started to just kind of glamorize it. Like somewhere along my years of busy work and burnout, I kind of just started to accept it like, well, this is how life is. Like it's just meant to be busy all the time. And so I started to have this mindset and belief that if you're not busy, well, then you're lazy. And if you're busy, then you're successful. And so that kind of carried on with me throughout my life. But I'll be honest, internally, that didn't feel so good. So although I believed that and I was killing to living my life like that, internally, it really sucked. I hated being busy all the time. And so something really, really bad happened. Like, honestly, I got to a point in my life where I was like, I'm not having any fun. Like, I'm not having any fun. And I'm like, what's going on with this? Like, if you don't know me, I'm a pretty good time. Like, I like to have fun. And I was having no fun. Like, fun is on my top 5 core values because my motto is, if we are not having fun in life, then what is the point, right? But I was doing none of that. I was not living in my value of fun whatsoever. And so I knew in that moment, I was like, okay, something's got to give. Like, I need to change something. Because what was happening was I was always just, because I was so busy, I just kept taking all the things that were fun away because I was too busy. I didn't have time. So I started missing like really important things. I started missing my kids' events, started missing my kids' school projects. And so I was like, okay, what is going on? And to boil it down is I was just too busy. But I'm like, too busy doing what? Exactly. And so that's when I finally reached a point in my life where I said, okay, enough of this busy stuff. Like, we need to get more productive here, right? And so I started to think, okay, what needs to change? And that's why I'm so excited to talk about this with you guys tonight. Because we're going to figure out how do we eliminate the busyness and how do we start enhancing more productivity. And so I thought about it for a while, and I finally concluded. I was like, yeah, this is it. I just need more time. I just need more hours, right? Yeah. I just need more time in the day, and I just need like 5 more deals. Right? I mean, that would just clone me like 5 times. I think 5 would do it, maybe 10. But clone me, give me more hours in the day, right? Don't you guys all think that you just need more hours in the day? How many times have you said, I just need more hours in the day? Okay, well, I hate to break it to you, but I found out real quick, that's not the answer. The answer is not time, because you and I both know if I gave you more time, you would fill it with more busy work. You would fill it with more scrolling your life away, comparing your life to all these other awesome lives out there. So the answer was not time, right? So what was it? Well, so I started asking that question. And what I realized was I needed to reprioritize. I needed to reprioritize my life. And I asked this really important question. And then this was an eye-opening question. And the question I had to ask myself is, Jill, what are you giving your attention to? If you're so busy, what are you giving your attention to? And that was an eye-opening question, because what I found after I dug into that question was how we spend our time is how we live our lives. And that determines who we become or who we don't become. And so that was a really powerful question. And so it's a question that I want to ask you guys tonight. I want you to think about that. What are you giving your attention to? We say we're so busy. Where is it? What are you giving attention to? And what I found when I asked this question a lot to my clients, to my peers, to my friends, is a lot of times we just don't know, do we? We don't know. Or what happens is we don't know what's important. And so when we don't know what's important, we just find ourselves doing everything. And unfortunately, that comes with a really expensive cost. And that is really important to know, because the failure to decide and discern what's really important can come with a very expensive lesson. And usually those lessons look like burnout, maybe addiction, distractions, disobedience, infidelity, potentially divorce, isolation, just to name a few. I know because I found myself paying a very high ticket price for some of those things through my own journey of being very distracted all the time, disobedient, and just filling my life with busy work. And so I found myself at a rock bottom moment of my life where I stood in front of the mirror, looked at myself, and I was like, how did I get here? Like, what am I giving all my attention to? And what I found as I dug deeper and I asked the hard questions, I really started soul searching on this busy work, was that there was 3 big barriers that were holding me hostage to a lifestyle of living in the busy work, hamster wheel life, right? And so as I dug into this, I realized I don't think I'm alone. I think these are the same barriers that are holding many other people stuck in that hamster wheel living. And so I thought, let's talk about what are those barriers that are keeping us always on that hamster wheel, always keeping us busy. And then let's go over here and let's figure out what are the 3 things that we can do to actually be more productive. How do we get off that hamster wheel and be more productive? And so what I found in my journey, and as I go through these, see if you guys can relate maybe. Rich, your battery's dead. No, it is. It's the user. So what I found was 3 areas was really, really holding me hostage. And those are what I call the 3 Ps: people pleasing, perfectionism, and procrastination. So people pleasing, right? Who would actually admit you're a people pleaser in the room? Oh yeah. Right? So we all know what that is. We love to say yes, right? We love to overcommit ourselves. And we say that a lot of times because we're so busy, we don't even have a clue about what our capacity is. And so we're just like, somebody's like, hey, can you do this? And you're like, yeah, I'll do it. Sure, why not? And then you get home, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do this. Why did I sign up for this? I'm not even skilled at this. And so, okay. So we say yes, we overcommit. And then what happens is what we do is we mute our voice, right? After we say yes for so long, we end up having really loose, relaxed boundaries or no boundaries. And so when we don't have boundaries and we're not communicating those boundaries, that's a straight ticket to burnout and busy work. So that's people-pleasing stage. And then if you're like me and you know the Enneagrams and you're an Enneagram 3 high achiever, if anybody follows them, you know this word perfectionist because you are, right? And so you stay in the state of perfectionism. And what does perfectionists do, right? They critique it, they analyze it. It is just never good enough. And so you just stay there and you're editing, revising, editing, revising, editing, revising. And they're like, hey, Jill, how are you doing that project? I'm just not there yet. It's just not good enough. Just hold on. And so it's never good enough. And so we're like wanting to get off this hamster wheel of busy work, but we just keep sabotaging our own success and growth. And so the other thing, I don't know about you, I'm just talking about me, is that, we're project managers too. And so we like to have control. And it's our job to be in control, right? We're in control of a lot of things. And that's good, right? But we have to realize that we've got a whole lot of other people on our team. We've got a whole lot of awesome individuals and teams that have great gifts and talents, and we can let them do something. But if you're like me, I love to hold the control. I love to make sure my eyes and ears were all over it. Like, oh my gosh, if I'm not going to be in the room, it's going to fail. Like, I can't let go. And then because of that, I'm the one up at midnight, right? Because I should have leveraged my team. So we have a sense of control and lack of delegation. And then what happens is it's all really rooted in some fear. The end result is we just have a fear of failure. So the other barrier that was showing up was procrastination. Where's my procrastinators in the room? Oh, we do have some people who are going to admit it. I love the honesty.
I'll let you know tomorrow.
Okay. Usually they're like, So yeah, procrastination, right? Sometimes there's just a little lack of clarity and delegation. And so we don't really, especially if you're a people pleaser or perfectionist, like there's just a little lack of clarity or direction on that project. And so you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna set that over here. I'm gonna go work on all these things that I actually really enjoy or that are really easy. And so you spend your time just doing these little things when you should be over here doing the big things. But you don't want to ask because you don't want them to think they don't know what you're doing, right? So we start focusing on all these less desirable things. And what happens is now we're the ones working at 9 to midnight, right? Because we've said yes to all the other people. We gave all of our attention to all those other people and didn't hold firm on the boundaries. And then we stayed over there and that was editing, revising. So now we're here in this task overload stage. And everything now, all those fires that we get all the time as project managers feel even more overwhelming. And so sure, all of these make you feel like I am so busy because you're actually sabotaging your own self, right, with some of these things. And so I don't know if any of those 3 resonate with you guys, but those 3 were very, very, very prominent in my life. And so maybe you resonate with one category or the other. But all 3 of those showed up in my life, and I was tired of it. And I was like, all right, this makes so much sense. I've got clarity around what's going on. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start setting some boundaries around this so that I can be more productive, so that I can be more efficient. And so as I was standing there, I found myself in the mirror, back in the mirror again. This time I had much more clarity though. And I was like, okay, this all makes sense. This all makes sense. I'm going to get more productive. But yet part of me was like, but what about the toxic boss? Like, what about those team players that never pick up the slack? Like, what about all the other, those clients, the champagne takes the beer budget and they drive me crazy. Like, what about all that that's causing me to be burnout and always busy? And it was in that moment, like something weird happened. Like I got this super overwhelming presence that came over me, like my foot even started tapping, y'all. And I found these really profound words that just hit me really sharp. Oh, I love me some Michael Jackson. Who loves Michael Jackson? Anybody? All right. Okay, seriously though, if you want to make the world a better, place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Woo! Those are powerful words. And I just have to take a step back. You didn't realize you were going to get dance moves by Jill as well. I know. I told you guys I was a good time. I was fun. I know. But in that mirror that day, it was like, okay, whatever you are not changing, you're choosing. And so we can stay stuck. We can totally stay stuck in this life of busy work and burnout. And we can blame everybody else, right? We can blame the schedules. We can blame the deadlines. We can blame our clients, whatever. But we can also realize that there's somebody else in the room. And that's you, that's me, right? Like we have the ability to make a choice. So we have a choice. We can stay stuck and live our lives in people-pleasing, perfectionism, and procrastination. But I don't know about you, but I was done with those 3 P's. And I decided I'm going to live a life of different P's. I want to live a life that's full of productivity, peace, and purpose. Like I want my days to be productive. I want my days to be purposeful. I want to be making a difference every day, feeling good about it when I leave. And I definitely need more peace in my life. So it was a mission of mine. And so I was like, all right, I'm done with these fires. I'm done living this life. I'm done making changes, intentional habits. And so I came up with new habits, new things that actually make you more productive. And so I thought, let's talk about what those were. And I know you guys are used to putting out fires, right? You deal with them every day. So you should know how to put out a fire, right? So what do? How do we put out a fire? If we're in a physical fire, what do? Three things that we learned in our elementary days. Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah, we're going to use the same acronym. I love acronyms. Okay, I have clicker problems. There we go. Oh, shoot. There we go. All right, stop, drop, and roll. All right, so I love things like this, so it's just the way I'm wired. And so I created these 3 habits, and so we're going to talk about them. So instead of chasing the clock all the time, and thinking that we needed more hours in the day, because that doesn't work, we're going to do some 3 productivity habits that will help you to actually work less, have more time, be more productive. So the first habit that I absolutely love is the habit of stop snoozing. Stop snoozing and create the morning routine. So I'm just going to walk through a scenario. I'm not saying this is what you do, but let me know if this morning routine sounds like you. The alarm goes off, you hit snooze. The alarm goes off again, you hit snooze. The alarm goes off for the 3rd time and you finally decide, okay, I guess I did. And then your alarm is on your phone, right? Bad idea. So you pick up the phone and you immediately go to the calendar. Oh, another day, 8 to 5, back to back. I don't know when I'm going to eat lunch. I won't eat lunch. Vending machine. then you scroll over there, you're already pissed off, and then you go over your emails, and you're all, look at all these emails. And then that blue light pops up, and you're like, oh, who wants to see my light from yesterday? Let me see. Yep. And then we start scrolling, and we start looking at how everybody's life's so amazing. And we finally get in the shower, we finally get down, we get our coffee, we jump in the car, and we're like, oh my God, I'm late again. And we get in the office, and we're like, oh, going to talk, right? And you're already starting your day overwhelmed, full of anxiety, full of stress, and you haven't even made it to the office yet. And I realize some of your offices may be down the stairs, but it's a different world now. But you might not have to actually drive to work, but so maybe you had like 5 more students. So we're not going to do that. We are going to create a morning routine. So literally, I just described like what my mornings looked like about 3 years ago. And this new habit of creating a morning routine was a game changer moment. So what does that mean? And why does it matter? So you're project manager, so you set your alarm clock 30 minutes. You plan that, right? You're like, I'm gonna set it 30 minutes earlier just so I can snooze for 3 times. So you can leave it 30 minutes, but you're actually going to get up this time.
Slack time.
We're going to get up when it goes off the first time. And why? Because we're going to tell the day, we're going to tell your mind that you're in control of the day. You're in control of this, not your calendar. Your calendar doesn't control you. You control your calendar. And so you're going to create 30 minutes of you time, because what I've found in my life, and most busy professionals, is that you feel so busy because you have, like I did, you've robbed all the things that you love to do because you were too busy to do it. And so you've taken all your fun zones away, all the things that fill your cup and joy. And so you're getting home and you're giving because you're a people pleaser. You're giving everything to everybody, and you're like, oh, I have nothing for me. So what this does is it actually creates a 30-minute time for you to fill your cup up in some way that works for you, and everybody's different. So that could be 30 minutes of getting up and getting your workout done, because that's going to bring you more energy throughout the day. It could be getting up, and if you like to read books, reading a quick, really good book that's going to motivate you. It could be listening to an inspirational podcast. It could be getting into the Word, Scripture. Like, I don't care what it is, but what it's not going to be is not check your email, not check your calendar, not just scroll social media. And that's just going to fill you with business. So what it does is it creates consistency and structure. And your cortisol levels, your energy levels are always higher in the morning. And so when you do that, you'll actually find you'll be more productive. You're going to get up, you might be journaling, you're going to think, what are my top 3 priorities to do? You're going to get them done. So that's the stop habit. The drop habit, we're going to drop it like that. Drop it like it's up. We're going to create the hard stop. We're actually going to tell ourselves, I'm going to start my day at this time, and I'm going to end my day at this time. And we're going to be very firm about that stop time. And why? Why does it matter? Why does creating a hard stop matter? What does that do? Anybody? Sets boundaries and expectations. Absolutely. It sets a boundary with yourself, but it also sets a boundary with your peers. Say, I'm going to end my day at 5, 5:30, 6, whatever it is. It's telling other people your expectations, right? And so you're going to say, I give this amount of time to my work, and then I have another 8 hours of personal time, and then I have another 8 hours where I'm going to rest. And rest is productive. So all you people, I know you're looking at me, and I can do it in 5. I get 5 hours, I'm good. I'm like, are you that efficient? 8 hours based on science. So what that does, it's going to set boundaries. What else does it do?
Prioritize your tasks and actually assign time to everything.
Exactly. Yep, you know the hours, so you know how to prioritize what's more important. And so by doing that, what does it allow you to do? No, it does not. It allows you to delegate more effectively. Your yeses become yes and your no's become no, because you know you have an 8-hour window of time, right? And so if I'm going to get in, you're going to get up because you've already done the morning routine. You're full of energy. You're ready to go. People in your office are going, it's gotten into you. I know, because they used to say it to me, like, I've been up for like hours already. So you're going to be able to delegate more because you're going to say no. Like, I have to leave here. I don't know about you, but I had this woman in my corporate job. It was like clockwork. You could hear her coming. She was a fast walker like me. 3 o'clock on the dot. Here she comes. She's looking for somebody. And it's gotta be hot, and it's gotta be done by 5 o'clock, right? And as a people pleaser, I was like, oh, no, come in my office, but she didn't. I guess I'll do it. And then what? My family suffers for it. My mental health suffers for it. My priorities become midnight. Hers became this. So what it's allowing you to do is say, hey, I appreciate that you're asking me to do it. I have a hard stop at 5:36, whatever it is. And I would love to do that. However, I can't get it done by 5 o'clock. I know somebody else who does have capacity that we can maybe check with. Would that work? Or are you okay if we could get this done 10 a.m. tomorrow? I'd be happy to do it then. I can reprioritize. It allows you to delegate when you know what you're committing in your day. The last thing it does give you that work-life integration that you're wanting. It's giving you a mindset to say, I'm in control of my calendar. Okay, the last one is roll. And so for those procrastinators that raise your hand, you're not going to like this one. But roll it out. So roll it out meaning do the hard right. You've all heard this. You might have read the book, Eat the Frog, right? You got to do the hard things first. Why? Why do we do the hard things first? You may know. You do it first because your energy levels are higher, right? Backed by science, backed by research, our cortisol levels are higher. And did you know, project managers, I know you don't know, because we just think busy is effective, right? We just think. But actually, based on science and research, we only have about 3 to 4 hours in a day that we're actually productive. Actually productive, 3 to 4 hours. So when do we want to do the hard stuff? In the morning, because that's when majority of people are more productive in the morning. Would you guys agree with that? Yeah. You guys tend to find yourself? Yeah. Yep. And so when you do that, when you get it done first, right, it's going to allow more capacity. You're going to probably have an area of time block that you can manage those fire drills. You're going to be like, yeah, those fire drills don't seem so much of a fire anymore because you've already got your big thing done first. The rest of the stuff feels easy. And so you are going to be more proactive. You're going to have lower stress because whether you know or not, like by procrastinating, the stress actually just lingers with you because it's still back here like, oh yeah, I still got to do that. I still got to do that. I still got to do that. Just like we were saying before, find yourself doing it at midnight when you should be sleeping because rest is productive. So it may feel hard, right? It's like anything in life. I think getting up and lacing your shoelaces, like that feels hard. But I don't know about you, but when I get it done, I'm like, oh, that feels good. Like that was the right thing to do for my mind, my body, my energy, right? And then what happens with me is usually if I do get up and I work out, guess what? It trickles on throughout the day. I have more energy, but I also eat healthy. Like I'm not going to go get a cheeseburger and french fries. And so it stays with you. And so these 3 habits, although maybe you're looking at it and you're like, okay, really? Stop, drop, roll, Jill. Maybe you're like, I don't think so. Try it. Because what you'll find at surface level, that might look easy, but it takes discipline. And it really takes a new mindset approach. You have so much power within you that you don't even know, but it's a lot of it is right here up in your mind. Say, I'm going to be in control and start living my life with people-pleasing, perfectionism, procrastination. I'm going to be more productive. I'm going to be more purposeful with my day. I'm going to live a life more of peace, less busy work. So honestly, these 3 habits, 100%. Change my life. I literally go back to this all the time when I feel myself feeling overwhelmed and busy. I usually look at this because I have a Post-it note and I'm like, which one of these am I not doing? Like, yep, I know when I skip out on my morning routine, the day goes to. So it's 3 things that I think will really, really help you if you apply it, if you put a new mindset around it and start to do it. So the question that really is, I'm going to ask you guys is, what is it costing you to stay busy? That was a hard question too. What are you giving your attention to and what is it costing you? Because for me, like I said, I had a really rock bottom moment and it almost cost me my marriage, almost cost me my relationship with my kids. So I had to reprioritize my life around what mattered most. And so my ask for you all tonight is figure out one of those, start with one, see if you like it. Ease your way into doing all 3, ideally. But also, nope. There we go. Slow down, Jill. Just slow down. Slow down and simplify your lives around what matters most. I honestly can't stress that one enough. It was a mindset shift that I really had to take because, again, mine was always busy is success. And actually, I've been more successful when I've slowed down, prioritized my life, and really put some intentional habits into my life. And so the last thing I want to leave you with is one lucky winner. We're going to do a drawing here soon. And one lucky winner is going to get a 10-minute online assessment where you're going to find out your working genius zone. And you'll get a 60-minute coaching session with me to go through that. And so real quickly, I want to talk about what that is, because not only is somebody going to win it for free, but the people in the room, you guys have an opportunity to partake in this as well. So what is it? This was another area that was a huge game changer for me, was that each and every one of you, whether you know it or not, you have a natural genius zone. You have a natural gift that's been given to you. And when you know what that genius zone is, it brings so much clarity to you, because it's the natural thing that comes to you. So it's the things that you absolutely love to do. You're really good at it. You could probably spend hours doing it. Your other team members are like, yep, you're really good at that. You also have an area that's your frustration zone. You're not good at it. You shouldn't be doing it, but you're probably doing it. And you're probably really feeling burnout because you're spending a majority of your time in that frustration zone, or there's a zone in the middle that we'll talk about too. And so you can do the middle zone for a little bit, but if you stay there too long, you'll burn out. And if you're in your frustration zone, like most of your work is in that zone, it's why you're getting frustrated. So it's a really cool assessment that once you find it, it will maximize your professional impact. When you really focus on how do I leverage that more in my line of work, you'll experience more fulfillment and joy because it's things that you love to do. So I love doing this with my clients. I love doing this with organizations because it's really cool to see from an organization concept of if you guys are bumping into the same problems, maybe it's because all of you are on one side of here and you don't have another zone, because you really need all the zones on a team. You need all the zones because that's what makes we're all unique and different. We need each of us. You know, mine is motivation, of course. My working genius zone is discernment, a really good gift of intuition, which is why I'm a coach. And my other gift is enablement, which is the natural gift and joy of motivating others, bringing joy to complete the projects, motivating them along. My other one is really not tenacity, right? Those are the people that love to come in and really close it, you know? So I need somebody on my team that's going to be like pushing me to close it. But I'll be the cheerleader all day. So you might have a bunch of cheerleaders on your team, but you need people that close it. So it's a really fun thing to do. So if you want to partake in that, the people here tonight can do that assessment at a discounted price only for the PMI group. So that's it, y'all. So I really, really appreciate, I hope you were able to take away something. I'll be around. I'd love to know if anything resonated or what habit you might be implementing soon.
Jill Boyle. Thanks for the questions. The audience here. If you're online, we're going to do some questions now. We're going to play Would You Rather with Jill in a little, and there's that raffle she mentioned too. So hang around. For those in the room, we're not worried about you going anywhere. We barricaded those doors. Jill, some questions perhaps for the audience. First in the room here, and please check online and raise your guy's hand too. Yes, sir.
One of the techniques that helped me preserve my sanity towards the end of my career was learning what work you could blow off. I find that a lot of the busy work, if you just let it stew for a couple of days, it goes away. And I think that resonates with your point to do the hard stuff first.
Yes.
And some of the little stuff will take care of
It
itself.
takes, yeah. Yeah, so his comment was like, to do the, you find yourself doing the busy work, but that ends up taking care of itself, right? Or what did you say, you were finding yourself.
I ignore it.
Yeah.
And somebody else would grab it, or they decide they didn't need it, or the executive didn't visit that day, or whatever. And I just kind of put the little stuff on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then I come back just before I was getting ready to get yelled at, finish it up and say, oh,
That's good. I just had an experience similar to that. There's this email that came and I really wanted to address, and I said, I'm not going to be good if I address this email right away. I'm going to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it go. And maybe I'll do nothing with it after a good night's rest.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Other questions? Thank you for that, sir.
On that topic, for so many years, I would never take a vacation, true vacation, right? I always had to bring my computer, I always had to work. And I found myself finally on one of these vacations where I said, all right, enough's enough, right? So I got back after my vacation and I had 600 emails. And so that was how I felt. But it worked itself out, right? And so my instant reaction was, okay, I'm going to dive in here. I'm going to really sift through all 600 of them. And that would take, I mean, literally a whole day, right? After you just got back from vacation. And I decided, I'm not doing that. Because if it's important enough, it'll make its way back to the top. And so I went through, I looked, and then I just said, I was in a new mindset. I was like, done. So, yeah, it does.
Very good. Hey, Jill, an online question, maybe from an economist. What was the discounted price? From Scott Smith.
All right.
Thank you, Scott.
The discounted price, so it's on there. If you scan that QR code, it's a $100 coaching session. So it's normally $250. Yep.
And another online, who wants to go with it? How do I overcome the feeling of being obligated to commit to more?
How do I overcome the feeling of being obligated to commit to more? I relate to that because you're a high achiever, is what I would assume. And so the feeling of that is knowing that, what are you committing to? But most of my clients always say, I just need to have enough time to get everything done. And I need this feeling that I want to, that I think it stems with the people pleasing, right? You feel you need to commit more because it's going to make you have this approval from others that you're seeking. And so I think you just need to dig in deep. What I've done is I dig in deep and saying, what is most important now? What matters most? And let go of the people pleasing, let go of the approval from others, and really kind of think more into that. Does that answer the question?
Amir, if we didn't answer that, if Jill didn't answer it, ask again. Using different words perhaps, but yes, I think so. Jill, you were talking about the number of productive hours, which I wasn't aware of that research. And it's like 4 or 5, something like that we actually have in a day.
Yeah.
It did remind me of an expression I've long held and heard. It was attributed, I think, to Benjamin Franklin, but maybe somebody else knows better in here. The expression was, if you don't get half of your work by 10 a.m., you're probably not going to get the other half of your work done.
Yeah.
And I found that to kind of be personally true, kind of mark that there. I thought that complemented the research that you were citing.
It is so true. And it goes back based on how our bodies are wired, how God created us all, but goes back to our energy, our cortisol levels, and just our brains only have a maximum capacity that we can handle without getting distracted. And now, even more so, I mean, we are in a state of hurriness. We're actually, mental health professionals have said that we've labeled it a hurry disease because we are constantly consuming so many things of our attention all the time, and the cellular phones are just one of them that's adding to that less productivity.
Other questions from the audience here? We have one. Thank you. How do you avoid feeling punished for setting boundaries and taking vacation? Ooh, Angie Day, thank you. That's okay, Jill. Go for it.
Glad
you're answering
questions. How do you avoid feeling punished for setting boundaries? Let's talk about that. Boundaries are essential. So how do you avoid feeling punished? Well, don't feel punished. Like, know that if you're setting boundaries, you have to think about your end goal. What do you want your life to look like? Do you want to feel burnout and busy all the time, or do you want to feel more at peace and productive? Because boundaries are so important, and I could go on and on about boundaries, but in every aspect of life, with yourself, with your others, with your marriage, and taking vacation, like, we need it. Like, we absolutely need to unplug. So how do you avoid that? I just think you really have to come back to, I don't know, I mean, I'll be honest, there's times where I don't feel guilty anymore about taking vacation, but there's some.
You have your boss take the quiz for you.
What's that?
You have your boss.
Yeah.
Have the boss take the quiz. Right.
I'm my own boss.
Well, I think that brings up the question, who's making you feel punished? Is it
you yourself, or is it someone else making you feel punished?
Yeah, that's a good
I
question.
mean, either way, it's.
Yeah,
The question to Angie here for those online from the audience here is who is it that's making you feel punished?
right.
Yeah, if it's yourself, then you ask yourself why you're making yourself feel punished.
Yeah, and I can see it going both ways. I feel like I took that as she was saying,
Someone else.
no, I think she took it as how do you,
How
yourself?
do you keep yourself?
Yeah, but yeah, if it's a boss, then that's another conversation, right?
It is those, yeah, two really different questions there.
Mhm.
There are organizations that value busy work over results.
Oh, they're,
It'd be a good place to get out of.
uh-huh.
There's another component too. In my opinion, there's another component to that boundary concept where boundaries well delivered are those that protect your interest rather than direct someone else. And so a good boundary is going to hinge upon whatever that thing is you value more.
Mhm.
So that gets you out from underneath that
That's
good
good.
response.
No, that's good.
There you go, John. I guess kind of going to one of the last questions, it's like, I kind of think of it sometimes as like the sunken cost fallacy, where it's like if you're trying to get promoted and you put all this effort into this, it's like, how do you just stop? And then like, even if you still have those aspirations to keep going, if that makes sense.
So, say that again. You're,
Like if you're feeling burnout, you're just going and going and going, and you want to take these next steps, but you feel like you've already invested that effort into it. Maybe it's just not an effective effort or something like that. It's like, how do you just kind of like stop, but still feel like you're still on the trajectory of like chasing those like aspirations at the same time?
yeah, I think you got to know what those aspirations are. I think you need to know what are the goals that you're really, really wanting to achieve, right? And put in some boundaries around how can I achieve those without working more hours? How can I achieve those and be able to still have a mental health capacity? What does that look like? What do I need to do? And if you're working for somebody, you know, having that communication with them as well, like understanding and having effective communication of, hey, I really want to get to here. What are some necessary things that I need to do? And really having that conversation with them, because a good leader and a good boss should not say, well, you need to work 80 hours to get that. Because then I would look at it and say, well, is that money or whatever you're chasing that important, or is your sanity, your life, your stability, and these other things important? And it kind of comes to like, where do you want to go? Because that's a valid question, because I found myself chasing this for a really, really long time. And then I got there and I was like, oh, that's so good. I think I want to come back here. So, but there are seasons of life where that happens, right? And we just need to really value what matters most.
Another expression comes to mind because what you've brought here are the memories of a lot of books I've read on time management over the years. There was one that said there's a particular expression, the way you remember it, it's 5 2-letter words. I think it's 10 2-letter words, 10 2-letter words. If it is to be, it is up to me. And it was something that I had personally subscribed to at the time. And what the question comes in that you talked about delegating a little bit earlier in your presentation there. What are some tips and tricks to delegating? What happens if there's nobody really to delegate to, or if you have that expression so firmly in your mind you don't even look?
Yes. Sometimes that's what happens, right? Is that the control, right? We don't even look to delegate. But delegation, it's not as easy of just, here, do this for me, right? It does take a little bit of communication with your team and knowing who in the room actually has the skill set that I can fully delegate this to. And it also takes a little bit of commitment and time. And that's where I found myself usually saying, I don't even want to delegate, I'll just do it myself. Because I didn't want to take the time to really train them or look at it. But if you find the right person that you know that you can grow, it says, okay, I'm going to sit with you for a minute, I'm going to show you what I want done, and then explain it, right? But it's not just leaving them off in the book. You're going to come back to them, not like a micromanager, but just to ensure that they're doing it the way that you want it. And then you're going to follow up with them a third time to say, okay, now I can let you fully delegate. But that process of doing that is going to help you in the long run, because now you've seasoned somebody that you trust already. You know, like, and trust them. You know that they can do it, but you just need to help them a little bit, and then you can fully delegate it. If you don't have somebody on your team and it is only you, then I think that comes back to another conversation. And are you wanting that off your plate because is it in your frustration zone? Is it something that your executive put on your plate and you're like, I don't want to do this because honestly, I'm not skilled at it. And then that comes back to a conversation too of maybe we need to look for somebody else in our organization that we can help them do this part because I'm really good at this and they would be much better at this. And I can't stress enough communication. I mean, it's valuable to communicate, especially when you're burnt out and busy.
Teresa Ray from online, thanks Teresa, does a period of meditation or another type of reset in the middle of the day help?
It does, absolutely. Those are my 3 tips, but I got lots of tips. But actually it is a great idea to get up and take lunch, right? Get up and get fresh air. When I find myself getting in that zone, because again, I'm not perfect at this. I'm a project manager by nature too. I'm wired with all those things. So it takes mindset and mental capacity, but when I start feeling myself draining like that, what I have to do, and I have the luxury of working from home, but all of you have outside air just like me, you can probably get up and go out for a walk, but honestly taking a 10-minute, even 5 minutes, quick break, get up. I like to go outside, fresh air, like resets my ability to think clearly, gets you just out of that zone. So whether that's taking a lunch break, laughter, like we talked about before, you guys weren't laughing very much. Laughter is a good thing, like getting together with somebody for lunch, going outside, getting a walk, just finding something. For me, I like water. Water brings me joy, so I have the luxury of like having a pond right near me, so I'll just take a loop around the pond with my dog, and it does, it resets you.
So we can't hit the snooze button in the middle of the day on ourselves.
You can hit it, but you can only hit it for about 5 to 10 minutes, or
5 to 10
you gotta
minutes.
get back to it.
Can I do it with my eyes closed? That was a joke from earlier today. It's just not landing well. Thank you to this lady right here who gave me some semblance of. Let's see here. Good online. Got a question about it. This did take me back to a lot of time management books or a lot of resources out there. Are there, aside from a personal consultation, are there other resources that you recommend for us still interested in thinking, learning, contemplating this topic?
Yeah, I mean, anywhere online. One of the books that I've actually just read that I actually highly recommend is The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. That is, if you've never heard that book, it is a great book. I will say it is a faith-based book. I am definitely a faith-based, so it brings a lot to the table of how we have went from how God created us to this zone now, and it's fascinating. It kind of resets your mind to think about really what is important. So I love that book. I think of other. I mean, the working genius is another assessment that I've found that is truly eye-opening to really realize like you have natural gifts and talents and strengths. Yeah.
Very good, folks. Please join me in. Oh, one more. Yes, absolutely.
I'll use my coach's voice.
Okay,
I'm frontline people.
one of your first slides was a technique that I used to kind of balance my life, but you have the little person thinking about all the different connected bubbles of their life.
Mhm.
And back when I was really in the grind, I would literally do that. I would draw a circle, I'd put me in it, and I'd say, okay, physical, intellectual, spiritual, family, work, and I'd start listing out what I was doing in those areas and kind of estimating the time per month I was spending. And if it was out of whack, I just start Xing things off and adding things. And it's a good graphical way. I'm a graphical guy. It was a good graphical way to see, are you in balance or are you
Yes.
listing to one side?
No, you are so spot on. It's an exercise I do all the time with my clients around what matters most. And when you put it down on paper and you really look at it, and you're not biased, you're really looking at, all right, how much time am I spending? And be open about how much time you're spending on screen time. It'll give you an area of where you're putting your attention to, right? And so if I said my top core value in my life is family, but I have a whole chart over here of career, like my priorities are a little out of whack. So how do we leverage that? Yeah.
We're going to go online for the last question. Scott Smith, might be related to what we've been talking about. What about time
I
blocking?
love it. Love it. Absolutely must is time blocking. For those of you that don't know, is really setting your day up in chunks of time for certain tasks that you're going to get done. I use this all the time because it's the only thing that really keeps me organized. So you're setting time blocks of things that you've got to get done, right? These are tasks that I have to get out, right? Or these are my email time, or these are this. I think it's huge. The other thing I'll say is on my calendar, you'll see from 4 to 5, it is always blocked. And because that is my wind down time. When I talk about creating the hard stop, you've got to put intentional things to make that stop true. So I have to put 4 to 5 because people can block time on my calendar. And that's my time. 4 to 5 is my time to wind down the day. What did I say was going to be my top 3 that I got done? What didn't I get done? Well, guess what? We're going to roll that over, and that's my first thing I'm doing tomorrow. And so that's my time where I wind down my day, I put my to-dos for tomorrow, and that keeps me so organized. So time blocking is,
And for
Yes.
your lunch or meditation or whatever as well, you make sure you block.
oh yeah. I have a time on there at 2:30 when my kids get home from school that I block as well, because I just know, I started realizing because I work from home that was it always caused anxiety. Because I would be in the middle of something and then they would come and of course they need a snack and this and that. So I just started blocking it on my time. Like, this is my meditation, stop, rest, get my kids in order, and then let's get back to it.
Speaking of time, it's the
It's the
time
time.
there that we're gonna kind of shut this down, and open it back up again a little bit later. So hang on online for Would You Rather, because there's online participation. Jill, you agreed to come back
I will.
for that as well. Do we have some appreciation for Jill?
We do.
Would it be in the ready enough stage to be the, Jill, we really appreciate it. We really, really appreciate it. Let me go on about that. Maybe I can show you something on the screen that's some type of core representation. Oh, look, a certificate of appreciation, Jill. It's giant size. It's 8 feet by 6 feet up here, and it's signed by Gaylord.
Oh.
Oh, here's a small thing.
Oh.
And the coffee mug there.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, Jill
Really
Boyle,
appreciate
please.
it.
And now, Ice Row producer. It's heavier than it looked. Okay, something's going to come on the screen. Give me time to reset the stage. Not quite that. It's time for the Volunteer Mini Podcast. And to celebrate it and welcome it, we have a theme song. No need to adjust your dial. It's time for the Volunteer Mini Podcast for the Central Indiana PMI chapter. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, in-room audience. And may our volunteer of the month please presents himself on the stage in this empty seat that I just dusted off here. And here he comes now. Yes, now would be the time, Srini. Srini Baba! Srini Baba, volunteer of the month. Srini, welcome, please have a seat here. We're gonna have some fun. Srini, that's an interesting name. Does it ever get confused at home with another common name that sounds similar?
This is popular salvation also. You'll find out how many.
Okay, I thought there's something online people can hear. Good.
Okay, I mean, you'll find, like, out of 100, you'll probably find 30 names.
Really, here's the problem that I see. Hey, Srini, when's my next meeting?
That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Does that happen a lot? Probably without this. Hey, Srini, what do we have for dinner?
Yes.
Srini, you volunteer for PMI. That's why you're here. Congratulations. What types of things do you volunteer?
I'm currently helping membership committee. So, like, if any new member comes and if there is any member spotlight, so I'm going to helping Heather on her team. And also we have every month you join us, and we're going to take the list. And if anybody did a great thing on a project, and we wanted to highlight it, in Indiana chapter.
Very nice. All right. How long have you been with PMI?
From probably 3 years.
Okay.
Yep.
Have you been a volunteer that long, or is this something recently that you decided to take on with us?
Only from beginning of this year, so
Okay.
8 months, yeah.
Great. What prompted you to go ahead and say, well, okay, after a couple of years, let me volunteer?
It's really networking, that's the key. And what Jill mentioned now, it's motivation, personality development, and this Wednesday's meeting. These are very, very important for me. Yeah.
That's great. When you're not volunteering, what types of things do you spend your time on?
A good question. To be honest, I want to sleep a lot.
That's a very honest answer. You have a backup answer?
Watching movies, Netflix, as usual.
That's excellent. Anything that you like the most about volunteering, or some message to pass along to someone contemplating volunteering?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, the Wednesdays, these meetings are very, very important, and the networking. And another thing is that there's a meetup session the CAC conducts. That's very, very useful for me. I've been in Indiana almost. I moved from Texas around 7 years ago. I don't know how many companies are there. Everybody talks about Lilly, everybody talks about Roche,
Right.
only life sciences companies, but there are so many industries, so many companies, a lot, which you may not aware. And that's, this is the events and the meetup will help you, network, or you have some problem, you may be going from months. If you discuss with a friend or a colleague, you may get the answer sometimes. So that helps me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize our volunteer of the month, Srini Verma. All righty, gang, I promised them, would you rather?
Would you remind the audience when our next meetup is? Since
Our next meetup is a week from Friday at the garage downtown. I believe 6 to 8. She's testing me. She's just going, does he really read the announcements that he's really reading up there? I believe it's 6 to 8.
Yes.
Oh, bonus points. All right, A+. Thank you very much.
5 to 7.
Hey, Jill Boyle, are you back out there again? Okay, it's time to play a little Would You Rather. Audience participation, audience in the room. We're going to have you do this deal. Please recognize. Feel free to recognize yourselves instantaneously, impromptu, anytime that you want. What we're going to do here in the room is to do this in old-fashioned way. So you're going to see some Would You Rather questions that I'll recite also, and then I'll turn to you, and by a showing of hands, you guys will vote. If you're online, click meeting. If this is a survey and click meeting, you're able to you're already there online. Just click on one or the other. And let me see question number 1. And we'll just get right into it. And Jill, you and I will kind of riff on these as we go. All righty, so we'll see what Jill says. And what I say, who cares about what I say? What Jill says, and then we'll move on. We're almost there. Okay, we see the results, but we missed the question part. Oh, hang on, I have plan B. All right, the question is, would you rather have, the time management one, would you rather have an extra day, would you rather have an extra hour every day that you can't use for work? Or a day off every week with no electronic devices allowed? Which, I like when you get an ooh on the questions, that says, somebody out there thinks this is tough. Would you rather have an extra hour every day that you can't use for work, or a day off every week with no electronic devices? Extra hour every day, audience, raise of hands. Extra hour every day, with about 53%, roughly. Okay, who'd like the day off with no electronics? Day off with no electronics. Oh, okay, that's a bigger group. Jill, how'd you come down on this? You being the expert.
I would take the day off for week with no devices because it's mental health. And if you were listening, more hours, you guys aren't going to do it. I just know it. That extra hour, you're not going to spend it being productive.
Okay, I was going to go extra hour, but you now convinced me to take the day. That was actually fairly persuasive, I think. Well, and I went with the audience too, I think, by shifting that way. Okay, number 2, would you rather? Would you rather always be 10 minutes early but feel rushed, or consistently 10 minutes late but feel calm and composed? Would you be 10 minutes early, feeling rushed, or 10 minutes late but you're calm and composed? Okay, audience members here in the room, who'd like to, who thinks you want 10 minutes early rushed? 10 minutes early rushed. It's a bigger number than I would have thought. Yeah,
Are you allowed to
work with me. No name calling too. Okay, and who thinks they'd like to be 10 minutes late but feeling composed? 10 minutes late, feeling composed. Okay, that's a little bit more for the first. And online, do we have online participation? So, I'm not certain what 67% means. That's really interesting. So, you scroll down, we'll see okay, that's 67% voting, which is great. Thanks, online people. Can we scroll down a little bit? In a moment, we'll do that. And they favor, thank you, this is awesome. Okay, they favor 10 minutes early, rushed. Jill?
I'm very complex with this question.
It's where we live.
It's where we live.
Well, if you're going to be early and you're planning your day appropriately, you shouldn't feel rushed, right? And I always like to be early. So if you plan it appropriately, you should do it all right. 10 minutes late but composed. Yeah, I don't like to be late, so I guess I'll 10 minutes, but I won't be rushed. I'll get there.
I think you're changing the answers, Jill. I don't know if that's fair. All right, we'll move on to the next one. This one I think is left over from when we had the I-69 interchange project. It's going to involve traffic. Okay, so question 3 here. Would you rather have roundabout intersections everywhere or traditional intersections? All righty, audience members, who'd like to have roundabouts everywhere? Okay, well, it's at 70%. And who'd like regular intersections, just to keep everybody stretching a little bit? Okay, good, minority there. Let's see what people, 71% voting online. Thank you for doing that. Roundabouts, 2-1 over there. Jill, you have a roundabout fan?
Roundabouts all day.
Roundabouts all day,
Yep.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
just go in circles. All right.
We gotta help
Okay.
those Ohio people out, they just don't know. how to
Not
do it.
really. I will not dispute that. Question number 4. Question number 4. There we go. Okay, so question number 4 is: would you rather have a perfectly organized schedule with little room for spontaneity?
Not the question.
No, other question.
What question is up there? Would you rather 10? Well, that's interesting. We're skipping that. Okay, this is fine. We'll work with it. Okay, this is would you rather 10? Oh, jeez. Okay. Would you rather have the Incredible Hulk as a project sponsor or Bruce Banner? Okay, question on what style person would you like for a project, your ideal project sponsor? The Incredible Hulk or Bruce Banner? In the room, the Incredible Hulk. Number of raised hands for the Incredible Hulk? Not too much. 3. Okay, and who would like Bruce Banner as your project sponsor? It just blends into the wallpaper. And, okay, maybe I think of Incredible Hulk. Let's see online first, and then I'm going to have it's Bruce Banner by nearly 3-1. How about you, Jill?
I'll just go with Incredible Hulk, you know.
Okay.
Sounds like he'll just take over, like be in charge, take control.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can, yeah. I think we're minorities in this one here. We'll see. Thanks to the 67% people voting on. Okay, let's see what the next question is. Oh, it's would you rather 4? Would you rather 4? Right? Oh, good. This is a good one. That I almost had earlier. Okay. Very good time management too. Would you rather have a perfectly organized schedule with little room for spontaneity, or a flexible schedule with occasional chaos occurring? Don't give any clues to the audience, Joe. Okay, audience, who would like to have a really well-done schedule, but not much room for spontaneity? Okay, 3. I'm sorry, I won't tell you where I am, but it's with that group. And who would like, okay, a flexible schedule with occasional chaos. There you go, flexible. Let's see what the online folks say. That's it, 67%, and prefer the schedule with no spontaneity. Am I getting that right? Oh, no, it's got to scroll one more. That's okay. Thank you. Okay, so 2-1. 2-1 with allowing for some chaos. And Jill, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the perfect schedule. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I
Contrarian.
don't like chaos.
Okay. Interesting. You have a different view?
My question is, how often does perfect actually happen?
right?
Question is, how often does
Very
perfect
good.
actually
And
happen?
if you don't have that flexibility in your schedule, then that perfect schedule becomes really chaotic.
There you go.
Okay,
Good,
there-
that's good
there's a case made that perfect schedules don't really exist, that they're bound like a black hole towards the centerpiece of chaos. I'm summarizing my own words, okay, that hill is in the back of the room, so we'll go with that. That good? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, you doing good?
I'm great.
just checking in here. I can do it with my eyes closed. Still not resonating with this audience. Okay, number 5, by chance? Here we are with number 5. Okay. Would you rather complete all of your tasks for the day in a single intense work session or spread them out evenly throughout the day? I like this one. Okay. Okay, in the room here, who'd like to do everything in a single intense work session? Single intense, okay, we're gonna get some 50-50-ish on that. Okay, and just so you can see your hands, spread the work out evenly throughout the day. Okay, more the former than the latter, and here we are. The top one is the single intense work session by about 50%. Oh, Jill, what's the right answer? Or is there a right answer?
There's not a right answer.
There's not a right answer.
There's not a
We're
right
happy to hear your opinion, which we value greatly.
Yes. Well, knowing that you have 3 to 4 hours of being productive, if you knocked it out, then you can have more time later for the things that you enjoy. So I'll go with the work session.
The intense work session.
Intense work session,
And-
3 hours, knock it out.
Because of that reason, I can get there pretty quick because of the science behind that.
Yeah.
And get it done. And there's something that says, maybe I want to self-reward myself that I'm done and I can kind of take the balance of the day.
That's right.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Focus, concentrate, and then reward yourself by taking some of that bonus time yourself in the other direction.
Mhm.
Interesting. All righty. Thank you, gang, for that. Are we on 6? All righty. Would you rather have your project managed by a cat or by a dog? Some of these were created by ChatGPT. I did go to ChatGPT. I said, give me a bunch of would you rather questions that have to do with time management. I'll let you guys guess which ones are and which ones are mine. In this case, it's the cat and the dog scenario that you get to choose from. How many would like to have your project managed by a cat? In the room, show of hands. The cat people have expressed themselves. And who'd like to see your project by a dog? I swear it's like 50-50-ish here. Let's see online, Joe. Oh. We have a dog audience. Yeah, we have a lot of dog people on. Not many cat people, apparently. Okay, who said cat? Okay, will you tell me why? My cat runs my house. This is an easy. She runs everything. I'm getting a lot of head nodding in the room. Who said dog? Who said dog? Yeah, why?
The dog, it's just active chaos, but the cat, I feel like, is going to be actively working against everything.
At least the dog man's best friend, by the way, will work with you on this. Where the cat is in deep opposition. Jill, what do you think? Cat or dog?
I'm thinking a dog because I think a dog is going to make the project more fun. Pretty, lively, outgoing. That cat's always up to something. I don't know if I can trust the cat. They're a little sneaky.
What makes you say that about cats?
And they're active at night, right? So all your meetings would be at night.
Yeah, the dog.
What's active at night? The cats? The cats are active at night.
Aren't they? Or they're not?
Yeah.
I can do it with my eyes closed. And now you just told me I shouldn't do that because there are cats running amok, plotting against me. Alrighty. Let's see where we are here. Next question. That was kind of amazing. Okay, let me slide that. We're on 7. Would you rather have super strength or invisibility? What's one of those? Okay. Would you rather have superhuman strength? Superhuman strength, I think, is what that says. Yeah, or invisibility. Okay, superhuman strength. Raise of hands for those in the room. The uncertainty there. Okay, who'd like invisibility in the room? Well, those hands went up fast. These people are pretty certain they want invisibility. And maybe I should be worried about that. Let's see what people online are saying. That's theirs. 67% reporting, and yes, we're divided. Okay, golly, Jill, where are you going?
I don't know.
Superhuman strength or
Invisibility.
invisibility?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure why, but it just sounds really cool.
That's my favorite idea. When I think about this, the only thing I can think of right now, the only thing on my mind is I do not want an invisible cat. That would be really, really bad. Okay, so
Yeah.
why invisibility, Jill? Now I'm going to force you to explain your answer.
Because sometimes, when you just want to just hide out, you don't want people to see you. Just be like, I'm not here. You can't ask me questions. I'm not here. I'm invisible.
You're using it as a
You gotta figure it out on
defensive
your own.
characteristic. I'm only thinking of offensive things that can be done with the skill of invisibility. So, that's very interesting and different.
Yeah.
Even though we get the same answer for really different reasons. Anybody else want to say why they want invisibility? No, see, they're invisible right now. I'm not even here, Rich. Okay. They turn invisible in the room. You can't see them online. Next up here, number 8. All righty. Would you rather be able to perfectly estimate how long tasks will be, but always underestimate, or be terrible at estimating time, but always finish early? Okay. So what we have here, the choices are. would you rather what? Yeah, was this ChatGPT or me? What do you think? This one. Okay. Perfectly estimate how long it takes, but you're always going to be late. Or terrible at estimating time, but you're always going to be finishing early. Who'd like to be really good at estimating time, but you end up underestimating consistently? You should be careful what you do on ChatGPT. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You could be gibberish. For all that I know. How many would like to? Do I even care? It's everybody else. The other answer. Who's supporting? Thank you. It's hard to even characterize it on this one. But the online audience did highest percent voting, so they got this question that they want. Which one is that? Clueless. Yeah, clueless. That was my summary of ChatGPT language. Yeah, a clueless estimate, but they make it. They finish early. I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah. Finish early. Did you have did you understand the question at all?
Not
Or you just
really.
With the right?
Not really, but I was going with the majority.
Okay, that's great. I think we all got 1 or 2 of these left. Yep, 9, maybe 9 and 11 because we jumped number 10. Would you rather have a personal assistant manage your time and tasks, but you must follow their instructions, or would you rather retain full control but not have assistance? Okay, who would like the personal assistant that you always have to listen to because they're going to run your life? Raise your hands in the room. Or cat. Thank you for the room. Okay, there was not much in the room, gang, but that's online here. We had like 2 for that. And so who would like to retain full control and have no assistance? Okay, the control freaks in the room dominate today. Let's see online. Maybe we have the same. Here we go online. We have a fair number, about a 3-to-1 estimate there. For that. How about you? Do you want to retain control or have that assistance?
I'm a suffering control freak, so I'm going to stick with being in full control.
You're going to be in full control as well. That's the popular way to go.
Isn't that the kind of definition of our profession?
Is it that Galen offers up? It's kind of sort of the definition of our profession. We must have the right people in the room giving that response. Thank you, Galen. All righty, last one I think is 11. Should be 11. We did 10. This is 11. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay, last one. Would you rather have a time turner that allows you to relive any day in the past, or a future predicting device that helps you plan your days more effectively? Thank you. I wrote that one. Okay, we get a question about how many uses you get. The genie says 3. That's right, there we go, 3 of the 2. Okay, in the room, who'd like the time turner allows you to relive a day of the past? Time turner. We have 8 reminders in the room. And who would like to have the future predict? I did it wrong. Did I read it? Oh, thank you. And we have a majority there with the future predicting. And it looks like future predicting is preferred. significantly here at online. How about you? You want to relive something that or you want a better way to predict the future?
Yeah, predict the future.
Predict the future?
Yep.
I like that. I think that's
I'm gonna not worry
by
about
nature. That makes
the past.
sense. That makes sense. Great. All righty. Thanks everybody that's online. Thanks for hanging in there with us. It was great to see your answers up there. Thanks for all the participants in the room as well. It is now time for a raffle. And thanks for hanging around here. And we can unbarricade the doors because I think people will stick around for this. We have three raffle items that are coming up. And Jill, if we can ask that you help.
Yeah.
I think you get to select the winners here. Galen is coming up with the official basket.
So first we're going to do the coach. Okay.
The coaching. This is for the coaching.
Lucky number
Royal.
3.
3.
John, are they,
Where?
we have a.
Oh, 3. 3 is a special code. We're reading it in a special code book.
3 is blue.
Okay, so.
3 is,
Blue.
did I hear blue?
What
What we're doing? What are those?
This is a one of those. Yeah, thank you. I'll do it so people can see on camera what you're
The
doing.
key thing is that it's for both our in-person and our virtual folks. And the virtual folks still have to be online. If they're not, we draw again. So they snooze.
As we sort this out, thank you for attending, and the PDU code is available on the screen. Please fill out your survey as well, because we appreciate the feedback. We'll make this better. Okay, so where are we, Galen?
So who's 3?
Amar Ansari, and he's online.
All right.
Amar, I'm sorry, that's online. I saw Amar had a question. Amar, congratulations. You win the free coaching session. In the room, we have tactile things now.
27.
27. Oh, wait, you're mic'd up. I don't have to repeat.
India Brown in the room.
She just said that she is still
No.
here. As
The one person who,
Yes, she can.
well, let's surprise her with the coffee mug on her purse.
She comes back with all of
The one person who went to the restroom, guys. I don't know. One person, only one person left the room. They win. Anybody want to leave the room now before we draw the last one? There we go. Mark's gone. He's taken off.
All right, last one is 40.
This is an interesting system,
I
isn't it?
love it.
Number 40. He's going from one computer to another computer. They've opened up Excel and ChatGPT. Do anybody use ChatGPT for real work? I'm curious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
yep.
it. I love it.
Oh, I got a lot of head nodding. I got smiles.
Because our lucky 40 decided to drop off.
Yep, give me another.
Oh, we missed it. We missed Lucky 40. It wasn't online. A lesson online. You can still win. We'll send this to you if you're online. Number 6. Number 6, Joe. You know, Joe, I didn't tell you this, but I don't schedule anything after 8 o'clock. Can't do anything because I pick up a vegetable. Yes, and now a bunch of people here are going, only 2 more minutes before we figure out what kind of vegetable Rich turns into.
51.
John, did you hear 51?
Got it.
Okay, thought you did. One computer bounces over to the second computer, confers with his able-bodied associate. That's Giselle, that's running things behind the scenes, doing the producer work, and John, who help out with the tech side. And that person's not here, so we'll find another person.
42.
Oh, there's someone who wants to win right now. 40 what?
42.
42? Well, that's the answer.
Hey,
Yeah,
Rebecca
right.
Ritchie's online.
Who?
Rebecca Ritchie.
Rebecca Ritchie, congratulations. Rebecca Ritchie online. We'll ship that right out to you. And protective covering. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you a lot. We're perfectly on time as it turns out. Thanks again, Jill Boyle. Really appreciate everything. She'll be hanging around and going to meet. Round of applause. Good night, everyone. Be safe on the way home. We'll see you again in ProDev Day October. Bye. Yeah, ProDev Day. I get the, not, that's not.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you guys. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you were in touch with her. Definitely stay in touch with her, and she knows how to get in contact with me.
Hey, hi, that you made it. I'm sorry I didn't see you speak in.
Oh, sorry.
Good to see you.
That could have been, yeah.
That is helping.